And there's a lot of perks to wearing a hijab, you know, like I'll always find food in it all the time. There'll always be something stuck in here all the time.
A female Muslim comedian. Probably haven't heard that one too often, have ya? Either way, meet Fatiha Al-Gori, a UK-based Muslim stand-up comedian who is making people laugh their heads off.
And I'm like, yeah, salam alaikum. So my name is Fatiha Al-Gori, and I am a British Muslim North African Arab from Morocco, comedian.
I am from the deep Middle East of Hackney.
Growing up with this identity was quite difficult because I'm born and bred in the UK, London, and it was very difficult because at the time it wasn't as multicultural as it is now. When you're young, you're like, why am I different? I wish I was like everybody else. But as you grow up, you learn to embrace that. Interesting fact about myself is I have 12 siblings. That is Allah's honest truth. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's so many of us. Sometimes my mum forgets our names, you know. She's like, number 5, come here. Number 7, take number 11 to school. You know.
So my brothers, I've got Muhammad, Rashid, Idris, Mustafa, Absalam. That's my first brother's name.
In comedy, it's very difficult being a woman and it's very difficult being different. So these two things, so as soon as you walk out, they're like, oh, a woman. And I'm like, yeah. And then you have that Muslim element. So they're like, oh, here we go, another rucksack joke. Another, you know, this joke, another typical Muslim joke or something like that. I try to bring something a bit more different. I try to kind of like throw people's stereotypes back in their face. Sometimes I get racist stuff and Islamophobic stuff, but I address it like I don't take any nonsense. Like on stage, like if you shout out, I'm going to tear you up. Like just be ready because I'm just not going to tolerate it.
I've been married. I'm not anymore, innit? And people often ask me, they say, oh, was it an arranged marriage? And I go, no, it was a forced one.
And you do comedy. It's like one of the most offensive jobs out there for people who don't have thick skin, right? So like, how do you battle that? What are some of the reactions you're getting from Muslims and what would you want to tell them?
So I think majority are really supportive and I get a lot of really nice support from like Muslim women, and because I speak about my life experiences like divorce, which can be taboo. Which is a taboo in some Muslim communities, not in Islam itself, but in communities, so through their traditions and culture and stuff like that. So yeah, so when I talk about divorce, a lot of women approach me and they say, I'm so happy to hear you talk about this, I'm divorced, and now I feel like less bad about it.
I'm single and ready to halal mingle.
But obviously sometimes you do get those, those wannabe mufti menks, do you know what I mean? That are like, sister, this is haram. And I'm like, listen, let me tell you what's haram. You coming into my DMs uninvited, now get out. But you know what? It's the haram police. That's what it is, isn't it? This is haram, that's haram. I can see a bit of your hair. I can see, a bit of your, why are you looking there anyway? Do you know what I mean? So it's the haram police that mess it up for everyone. Like Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that people see Islam through you, through yourself. Do you know, we are the example of Islam. So if we act silly and horrible, and that's what they're going to see, they're not going to read the Quran. Do you know what I mean? They're looking at you. You're the example. So people forget that, and they just want to you're doing this wrong, that's wrong, your hijab's wrong, and I'm like, listen, your mouth is wrong. You really need to close it like right now. So yeah, if somebody DMs me, they'll get a response.
But the other perk of the hijab is like, I'll be walking down the street and there'll be somebody that I don't like, I'm trying to avoid, and I see them and I'm like,
So every time there's a terror attack by these so-called Muslims, a violence against Muslim women, visibly identifiable Muslim women, so when Muslim women that wear hijab or niqab, rises by 600% in the UK. So whenever that happens, it's a massive worry, it's scary, we all have to be extra vigilant and stuff like that. So I don't, if something happens something happened in the news and then I'm performing that evening or something like that, I don't address it. I just stick to my material, because I think just sticking with my material is enough to break that stereotype. And I'm trying to forge a connection, create a narrative, and to instigate a conversation between me and the audience, you know, and to make those people that listen to the news too much and have these crazy opinions about Muslims, make them think a little bit more. You know, if they see me, then they might be like, oh, do you know what, maybe everything the news says isn't true.
So guys, I'm 39. I don't look it, innit? See what happens when you pray 5 times a day.
I think being funny is about the person that you are, rather than being a Muslim or a non-Muslim. But the bottom line is, yes, we are funny. We are bloody hilarious.